Hi everyone, it's Carol here from thestampingground.co.uk, and today we're making this lovely card that uses the artistically inked stamp set and the matching dies called artistic dies. The ink background is a nice technique and is quite an easy technique to do if you just take your time and follow the instruction. And all the measurements and everything I've used will be over on my blog, so you don't need to write anything down. So just sit back and enjoy the video. So we shall now get started. The stamp set I'm using is called Artistically Inked, and the dies are artistic dies. And these are the stamps I'm using, and I'm going to use quite a few dies from here. So just pop those to one side. This die here is from a die set called Seasonal Label Dies, which you'll see me use quite a lot in the coming weeks. Now the cardstock we need measures 5 3/4 by 8, scored at 4, and a piece 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. The colours I'm going to use are Soft Succulent, Magenta Madness, Rich Raspberry and Polished Pink. And I'm going to use the blending brushes. I'm just going to move this out of the way and put a silicone sheet down just to protect. And when you're using the blending brushes, you just need quite a soft touch. Don't go in heavy, or you'll end up with kind of blodges. Just load your brush up with ink and start off the card and just very, very lightly in circles, and don't be tempted to press on hard. You might think there's no colour, no ink left on the brush, but there will be. Just keep going across nice and lightly. If you have to load your brush again, that's fine. But your brush will pick up a lot of ink. So I'm just going to pop that to one side and start on the next colour. And don't worry about getting each panel exactly the same size. It doesn't really matter. It's just a guide really. So again, load your brush up and starting off the card, again very lightly in circular motions. So you can see if you're going nice and light, it's going on quite smoothly. So I'm just going to leave that now and go in with the last colour. I love this colour. There we are. So I'm just going in with the centre colour, and I'm going to blend these two together. You can see how they're kind of mingling into one now. And then back to the first colour. Always start off your card there. Just go over that little bit there. So we'll just pop these away and give the mat a quick wipe. Now I'm just going in with a spray and just a tiny spray of water. Turn your card over and sit it on top of the water. You'll see it gives the background another bit more interest. If you didn't want to do this, you can actually leave it plain. You don't have to add the water. We're now going to do some stamping. So I'm going to use the stamps from the Artistically Inked, and along with the Magenta Madness. So onto scrap white card, you're going to stamp 2 of these roses. The lovely, very, very nice stamp set this. And then there's 3 little flowers, and we're going to do 2 of these. Don't worry about that little mark that I've made on the first. When we die cut it out, that won't be there. Then I'm going to use a soft succulent for the leaf. And again, it's a lovely colour when you don't want a dark, really dark green. As you can see, it's a very nice colour. Now all we need to do now is die cut these out. So I shall go and do that, and I'll be back in a minute. So here we are, all cut out, and we just need to pop these to one side. Oops. Now we need to cut these 2 dies out in white cardstock. And also that one, although we're only using a tiny piece of that, so I shall go and do that. And there we are. I'm just going to use that top piece from the leaves, so we'll pop those there. And the last one we need to die cut is from a die from the new catalogue, and it's called Seasonal Label Dies, which has, as it says, a lot of labels. Really, really nice dies, and you'll see me using these in the next few weeks. And then we just need to stamp our inscription onto the front of the label. Again, I'm using Magenta Madness. It's a very vibrant card, this. And the white die cuts on this card look lovely against the vibrant colours. And there we are. Best wishes. So now it's time to put our card together. As you can see now, where the water has dried, we've got a very interesting background. I think again, it's personal choice as to whether you leave it just blended with the ink or add some detail like that. So we're just going to pop some liquid glue on the back. And just position it centrally on the front. And there we are. And now for the fun bits when we're putting everything together. If you turn this die round, you will get the whole of the die onto it. You don't need to trim it or anything. Just make sure all the little pieces are out. And I think the easiest way to glue this is to get, oh, there's another piece. Is to get a piece of acetate and pop some glue on. And then we're going to use a sponge to sponge the glue onto the back of this die cut. So as you can see, I've got my piece of acetate and I'm just going to add a small amount of liquid glue onto here, and then use a damp piece of sponge. Whoops. And just dab the sponge in, and then over the back of your die cut. It's a great technique, is this, but don't go mad, otherwise you'll stick it to the back like that. It will come off. There we are. So just position it so that your die cut is onto the background. And I just like to press with my bone folder just to make sure all the little pieces are stuck down. There. Then I'm just going to take some dimensionals and bring all our other bits and pieces in now. So this is just a matter of laying your pieces onto your card to see where you want to place each one, really. I don't want to cover, oops, my fingers are still sticky. I want to make sure I can see quite a little bit of this flower in the bottom left hand corner. So I'm going to add again a little bit of glue with the sponge onto the back of here. You couldn't imagine trying to add glue to these tiny pieces without getting it in, well, in between everything. I think it would it could end up quite messy. I'm going to pop some dimensionals onto the back of the label die. And then just position it onto the front of the card where you're happy with it. And again, just place your flowers, leaves and anything else onto the card, and make sure you're happy with it, because once you've stuck it down, you won't be able to take it off. The glue is still it's dry, but it's still sticky on my fingers. I'm going to wipe them 1 minute. And then when you're happy, just pick each one up and then start adding glue. So just take your time and lift them one by one so that you know exactly where you're placing them back, really. And I'm not good with tiny ones. I always get them stuck to me. I'm just adding dimensionals to this last rose as it's higher because it's sat on the label die. There. So there we are, all finished, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, please leave a comment or give me a thumbs up, and any measurements in imperial, metric and everything I've used in making this video will be over on my blog at thestampingground.co.uk, and I'll be back very soon with another project for you. So until then, thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.